Check this out. This is an old Native American structure called a rock house. And that's exactly what it is. It was just rocks piled on top of each other. And there'd be a big dugout in the middle. You can see there's not much rock. But here, big collection. So it's easy to spot. This is obsidian right here. Cutting tool. See how just jagged it is. So they would also bury their dead right in the center of the rock house. Weirdly, you can see how fertile the center is. There's a bunch of green grass. Here, not so much. This is the center right here. So keep in mind, this is protected. This is national monument here. But at the same time, there's cattle everywhere here. So cattle get in here. There's also a pipeline, literally 200 yards from this area right here. There's a road and a pipeline. Dude, I'm literally right on the edge. Sun, monster storm. Sun, monster storm. Real dense here. Hard to see where that canyon is, but I know it's this general direction. Very easy to get disoriented. All right, this is the canyon rim here. That section isn't too steep, and I know it gets steeper as I go down. So I haven't done this section here, this upper section. So I'm trying to go up here and just stay up here and loop it out. All right, so this is the nose of that canyon here. And it looks like it goes down, but let's see if it really does. It's been pretty steep elsewhere on it, so I'll have my hopes up too high here. Yeah, look at that, it totally does. Look how friendly that little walk is right there. It's perfect. So we're gonna go down here and do that section. We're above the vultures here. And then really don't know. Coming down here. Amazing how 500 feet and it's so much hotter in this little valley than on that ridge. Hardly any wind in here, but definitely wild. All right, that's where I came down. So I'm on this notch here, and I was in the bottom of the valley, and this notch is kind of in the center of this whole little section. So whatever's up here is wild, because it's just out of reach from both sides here. Okay, you gotta make a special effort to get to this notch. Nice pools of water here on this rock. Take a little break here. Figure out where I'm gonna go next. That's where we came down. And I think we're gonna go up here and loop back there. Going down, Jip. Good job, Jip. That's my little Jip. Check this out. So this looks like a tabletop mesa on this side. But look at this. Look at this. I've never seen anything like this before. What a cairn. Is it Native American? Who knows? But my guess is this is just one person doing this right here. An old backpacker, an old rancher. But super monolithy though, right? Look at that. Meticulous too to stack this up here. Look at this. All right, looks like I got another route. That canyon looks doable. See the tree section here? I'm just gonna kind of go boop up, and that's that ridge versus going all the way up there. And then I'll just be looping to my truck on that side, counterclockwise. When you're up there, you don't see these rolling sections in here. This is the kind of hiking in the summertime that saps a lot of your water. You're just going up and down, up and down. And the up and down is usually fairly steep. Look at this here. Nice draw. Muddy. Definitely the closest thing that looks to a hike in here. I think there's a way up there, but if not, I'll have to come back down and go up that ridge. This looks like my best shot though. Beautiful day. Just drank my last water. Had close to 80 ounces of water. This is hour 5 right here. But it looks like we're gonna make it up this ridge here. Unless it's a false summit. But I don't think it is because it looks pretty even. Look at all this cactus here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, I'm trying to get a hike in here. Came down here. Thinking about going down there, but it's pretty boring down there. Looks like just trees. Most interesting feature is that rock wall right there. I'll have to come down, go up, come down, and then go back up. Might be worth it though. All right, came down to this valley here. Trying to get up to those rocks. If it starts raining, I'll have to shoot back. But if I can't get to those rocks, there's a big set of boulders right there that I just noticed. And that would be the best place to make shelter. Look at this. This looks like an old trail. Look at this marsh here. Scared to cross. It's dry. Look at that. That's bear right there. Bear poop. Brought those big rocks here. If you were a pioneer or a Native American, this is how you'd navigate. You'd be like, hey man, meet me by that big ass rock in the valley. If you get lost, just meet me at that big ass rock. Anyway, the storm is rolling in here. You gotta hurry up. All right. I feel a little better seeing these clouds moving here. I don't see any like squalls or anything. Chips, get down from here, bud. Yep. Suspicions were correct. This is an old rock house. You can see the rocks around it. The pit dug out in the center of it. And this little flat section here. Good place to hunt. It's weird when it comes to petroglyphs. What you'll have a lot of times is kind of one artist in the valley that'll just paint a whole section of canyons. Just that one person. Or he'll teach others to do that. And then if there's nobody to teach anybody or show people how to do petroglyphs, there's none. So a couple of valleys that way, there was an artist that lived there. And that whole section is painted with all kinds of petroglyphs. Look, this is all human activity here. Stacked up rocks. Yeah, this is actually a large settlement. This is another rock house here. Dug out. Bunch of rock everywhere. Nice vantage point on the valley. You can go set your snares, hunt, and then you'd come back to this section here. You'd get locked out by those canyons, and you'd be down here. This is actually an old and a large one. The older ones have the rock house structures. The newer ones have the towers. So these rock houses here are just older. Look at this den here. Wow, you see that up there? That's a cliff house. Totally. So we gotta go up there now. Check that out. Oh, it's steep. It's around 80 degrees. So my truck is over there. You can see that little gentle slope coming down. Otherwise, cliff, steep sections. Beautiful. Gyps, get out of there, bun. I'm winded. Definitely got that summit fever right now. Where I was just gonna explore, build a little camp. And I'm out here on the ridge here, looking for a cliff house. Wow, look at that. That was totally worth it. That is sick. It's definitely a scratch and crawl fest coming through here. Look at this. All kinds of like spirit activity here. Feather. This is a turkey vulture, I think. Look at that. Some kind of sundial, looks like. This looks untagged by BLM or the public land people. And my guess is that because all this is old fossils. All these trees here, these are really old fossils that I think eroded from the sandstone. That would be my guess, because there's a lot of overhang here. But I'm not going to enter this section here because it's precious right here. I think legally you can walk through it. I mean, there's a pipeline literally a quarter of a mile away from here. So I think BLM rules, you know, you can't take anything, obviously. You can't steal artifacts from here. But in general, you can see that's an artifact right there. That's pottery. In general, sites like this will be tagged by the BLM, and they'll put like a notice on a tree or something saying you know, Antiquities Act, something like that, some kind of law regarding preservation of artifacts, preservation of public, you know, or Native American history. And those sites, they clean those sites up, and they take stuff like this pottery here. But sites like this, which they're kind of just hidden in these canyons, in these wild canyons, they miss. So I just don't want to go through there. I want to explore and take pictures. But sites like this, the more I hike, the more I realize just how, I mean, this is 900 years old. This stack of rocks is 900 years old. I mean, that's 3,600 seasons of weather. And this stack has held up. So they would use sites like this as a sentry point. So they would put somebody out here on watch duties, and they would just observe the canyon here. And their habitat, or their kivas and home structures, were down here. More cliff house activity here. Getting a little sketchy here though. A lot more drop off here. This one's circular. Nice little window for the fire, I guess. You gotta be real careful. You can see how that, Gyps, come over here. It looks like there's a plant there, but it's false. There's a steep drop off right there. So stuff like that, I don't play around with. So we're gonna come down here. You can see that knife edge right there, boom. So we're gonna make our descent now. That is the strangest rock ever. This is sandstone. That is weird. Look at this, another rock house here. And look at all this pottery here. Look at all that. It's been laying like that for 900 years. And that original black ink from charcoal stands up. I think most of it, the sun has taken off, but some of them you can see how, even in direct sunlight, it survives. The ink survives. Look at that, there's more stuff up there. Bunch of rooms, looks like one, and then another section right there. I have to leave that for next time.